Okay, so this is a great start, I guess. It looks like a pixelated tapeworm going after, I don't know, some spaceship thing. But let's close this and you can save it if you want. It's a masterpiece. I'm not going to save this. And let's open let's create a new flash file from the get-go. So we're going to go back to create new. If it's not here, what you can always do if the splash screen isn't on your computer, go to new and choose Actionscript 3. One reason it's beneficial to go here is you can set up some things right away. Over here dealing with stage size, they call it stage because it's like a movie, right? You're creating a movie, so they don't call it an artboard, they call it a stage. But we can do this in properties as well. So I'm going to hit Actionscript 3, go OK, and we've got this stage. Now, one thing you have to think about immediately is aspect ratio and stage size. Now, with mobile devices, some mobile devices that people might be viewing your masterpiece on might have really small stage sizes. Others might have, be large, like 10 inches across. So what's really important is the aspect ratio. What size do you want the map? Do you want black bars at the edges because people have a landscape viewing device such as a high-definition television with a 16:9 aspect ratio? Or do you want kind of a 4:3 aspect ratio that like an iPad has? These things, by and large, we're not going to worry about with right now, but when you want to change these things, I need to show you where. So whenever you have a stage and nothing is selected on it, so I'll just draw a box here, you don't have to do this. I've got this box, and when I have the box selected over in Properties, it gives me options for the box itself, changing the stroke width, etc. However, if I deselect the box, what the Properties thing shows us are the properties of the stage itself. And here we can change a variety of things. The color of the stage, maybe we want a light gray stage color, which is hard to see with a light gray background. Maybe a toxic blue. I'm going to keep that for a little while just to wake you up. We can also change the size. We can just simply click and drag the stage size thing here. Maybe I want it 600 by 800. You can just click and drag this. This is insane. Doop, doop. All right. Oops. Oh, sorry. Hit a wrong button, as usual. It's going to happen a lot. And so now our stage is this size. You can also click on, any time you see a little toolbar, you can click on that and change things. So in here, you can change that thing. We could actually change the size of our stage to the contents that we have. I'm going to do that now. And so now our stage is only as big as everything we have drawn, which is very small in this case, 112 pixels by 90 pixels. So you can shape things to, you can shape things to what you've drawn. So a variety of options here. Another thing to discuss is frame rate. Frame rate is also here a property that you can affect on the stage. And 24 is generally an acceptable frame rate. That's what movies traditionally have been shown at, although recently they're going to 48 frames per second, which some people say looks terrible. So generally 12 is a little sluggish and a little choppy. I'm not an animation connoisseur. One thing you need to keep in mind is the higher the frame rate, the higher the processing power required on the computer's end, the person that's viewing it. And after 24 frames per second, you really can't tell too much difference. So 24 is a good standard to keep. All right, I will change the stage color back to white. Perfect. Now notice if I click once and drag this, it only moves that. And another weird thing about Flash that I didn't emphasize enough is these are called dumb graphics, or I call them dumb graphics. If I select this and move it again, notice that the background is gone. Anytime you overlap a dumb graphic over another dumb graphic and deselect it, and then select it again and move it, everything underneath, all the dumb graphics underneath are erased. So this is something that can be kind of annoying. Now, how can we get around this? I'm just going to show you. If I don't deselect it, it doesn't get erased. But as soon as I deselect and click again and select, it's gone. So how do we get around this? Well, there are a couple ways. First of all, you can always double click. One second, gotta get rid of that. Remember, you can always add an outline again by selecting this ink bottle tool. So one way to get around that is to not click once, but always double click the fill of something so everything gets selected. Another option is to double click, go up to modify, group, Command G or Control G in Windows machines. And then, just like in Illustrator, they're grouped. They're no longer dumb objects. So it's something to keep in mind, and you're going to see a lot of grouped items. To manipulate these, you just double click into them. And then again, you want to be careful, because now we have this silly grouped item. Okay.